All right, time for an instant reaction. I thought Al Michaels and Kirk Herbstreit were very good tonight because the game was very good. It's hard to do a bad NFL game when you get really poor quarterback play. There's only so much you can do. And I think sometimes people are overcritical of Al Michaels and, too consumed with his age. I thought he was sharp tonight, funny, quick-witted. That line at the end, another kind of tush-push when Micah Parsons was blocked by Lucas, the Seattle right tackle, and he backed into him. So I thought it was a really, really good product tonight, and I thought it was a really good football game. I mean, again, couldn't you imagine Seattle scoring 35 points if you've watched their offense in the last month? And can you imagine Dallas's defense being that lousy against Geno Smith? It was a really good game. First, I want to address the penalties. There were too many flags. I had a head coach in the NFL and a couple executives text me during the game. They're like, this is brutal. I will say this, not in defense of the officials, because I think I don't understand. You should throw a flag when you see a penalty. I think sometimes referees anticipate penalties. Call what you see, not what you anticipate. Now, I will say Dan Quinn, who used to coach under Pete Carroll, is very aggressive. And Pete Carroll's defense can be very aggressive. So you had two of the most aggressive defensive guys in the NFL working tonight. And what does that mean? It means you're going to have corners, safeties, riding tight ends and wide receivers more than average. Belichick, Pete Carroll, Dan Quinn, Tomlin. These are very aggressive defensive coaches. And officials get into situations where they want to set the tone, and so they start calling penalties early to set the tone. And Dan Quinn and Pete Carroll don't pull back. They keep telling their players to be aggressive. So the officials have already set the tone in the game, and now they're going to keep calling penalties because they want to be consistent. I still thought they missed a couple. There were a couple ticky-tack calls on the Seahawks corners, but that's my explanation for it. Dan Quinn and Pete Carroll are aggressive. Referees try to set a tone, and then they realized we've set the tone. We got to be consistent. We just called stuff that looked like that earlier. We got to call this. You have to be very careful about confirmation bias. We all have strong feelings about things. But over time, there's no one truth with anything. So when Aaron Rodgers and Mike McCarthy broke up, I think the feeling was Aaron could be prickly and difficult, but McCarthy maybe wasn't up to snuff. And so they bring in Matt LaFleur. And for a couple of years, we just think, oh boy, Aaron's finally got his guy. Aaron has a better career playoff record with Mike McCarthy above 500 than he does Matt LaFleur under 500. Mike McCarthy goes to Dallas. We don't love his situational coaching, but he has a winning record with Favre, Rodgers, Dak, and Cooper Rush, and this is the best I have ever seen Dak Prescott. He feels a notch better than he's ever been in his career. Now he's getting better protection from Tyron Smith on the left, who's healthy again. He and CeeDee Lamb now is an elite connection. Ferguson, the tight end, now is getting more and more productive. They don't have a consistent run game, but Dak was 29 of 41, 3 TDs, no picks, and 300 yards. I thought he was excellent tonight. Excellent tonight. Well, Mike McCarthy gets some credit for that. And Aaron Rodgers had arguably his best year with Mike McCarthy. And Favre's last year, he was 13-3. And Cooper Rush looked like kind of a quasi-starter with Mike McCarthy. So 4 or 5 years ago, we view Mike McCarthy as one thing. And now we have to look around and go, he, Pete Carroll, John Harbaugh, Doug Peterson, Sean Payton, all have a Super Bowl, all have a second job in the NFL and are building a winning program at that NFL franchise. So to me, Mike McCarthy is Harbaugh, is Pete, is Doug Peterson, is Sean Payton. Second time around, winning again. And speaking of that, about our initial perceptions. So what if Sean Payton gets the Denver job, doesn't do TV for Fox, and Nathaniel Hackett never does? So our initial perception is, yeah, Pete really pulled it over. John Snyder and Pete really pulled one on Denver. They got Geno Smith. We got Geno Smith. They get Russell Wilson. He's washed. But if Sean Payton doesn't do TV and just takes that Denver job, Russell Wilson looks precisely like he looked in Seattle. 100-plus passer rating, twitchy, playmaking, moves out of the pocket, makes big throws, very few turnovers. And we don't view that as Pete Carroll and John Snyder getting one over on the Broncos. We say, you give up a better quarterback in a quarterback league and you have Geno Smith, right? Last 5 weeks, Peyton and Russell Wilson looked like Seattle Russell Wilson, who is an A quarterback. So I look at Seattle now, and you got yourself a 500 team with one big win this year at Detroit. That's a nice win, but now the Rams are playing better. San Francisco's clearly better. Dallas is better. Philadelphia is better. Keep your eye on, I still think Detroit is better than Seattle. They certainly are now. And keep your eye on Minnesota and the winner of the NFC South. So what is Seattle today? A 500 team that needs a quarterback to get to the next level. What is Denver today? The hottest team in the AFC with a franchise quarterback and a Hall of Fame potential coach and a lot of good players. So McCarthy, Russell Wilson, Geno Smith, you got to be careful about having really strong opinions and not being willing to look at a story as it evolves and changes. And stories change all the time. I can feel strongly about a political candidate 1 year. He makes some missteps. I don't feel the same. I've said this before. You can have a stock in a company, and then all of a sudden, the company, Apple, makes some missteps. I used to own a lot of Starbucks stock. Don't own as much now. Nothing against Starbucks. Great company. But over the course of time, I've had it, sold it, based on the momentum of the company. So you've got to be willing to look at stuff and be honest and not be stubborn. And, the Seattle-Denver trade now, I'd rather have Russell Wilson than Geno Smith. Now, Seattle may draft Bo Nix or Michael Penix, and in a year, I feel again like Seattle won. But if Denver doesn't hire Nathaniel Hackett, that never looks like a landslide that it did briefly. Let's go back to the Cowboys. So the knock on the Cowboys was going into this game, they'd beaten the Giants twice, the Jets, Washington, New England, Carolina, a beat-up Rams team, and the Chargers. Well, Rams are now pretty good. Chargers are talented. Seattle's competent. Washington's always in most games. They're a 9-3 football team. I don't think they're as talented as San Francisco. But I do think they present some things where you can argue they can go toe-to-toe and beat Philadelphia. And the number one reason is the Cowboys have 7 blowout wins. And over the last decade, 9 of 10 Super Bowl teams have averaged 7 to 8 blowout wins. Dallas has 7. Philadelphia has 2. So San Francisco and Dallas are the 2 teams in the NFC that blow people out. They flex because they can. Philadelphia would love to blow people out, but they can't. Their back end of their defense is weak. Offensively, Jalen Hurts is terrific, but he has become a very good second-half quarterback and can struggle in the first half. They've trailed their last 4 games at half. So I think if you're a Dallas Cowboy fan, I've always had the same feeling about the Cowboys for the last 25 years. I always say, Tony Romo was pretty good. The Cowboys are pretty good. Jason Garrett was pretty good. Mike McCarthy's pretty good. Dak's pretty good. And I'm always right. They always win about 9 or 10 games, maybe 11, 12. But I never feel that they're a Super Bowl team. I do believe if CeeDee Lamb stays healthy and Tyron Smith, the left tackle, stay healthy, because Dak's having a good year and McCarthy's obviously elevating Dak, that if they can stay healthy with Tyron Smith, Ferguson's, productive, and CeeDee Lamb, they can win shootouts, and they're good enough defensively. They'll be a good team playing with a lead because of the pass rush. I do wish they went and acquired like a Derrick Henry at the trade deadline. I think what they really miss is they have a lead in the game and they just want to eat the clock. They want to power run it, and that's not what they're built to do. They can score quickly, they can score a lot. But I feel like they miss sort of that power offense where they could just hand it off to a Derrick Henry and just say, 6-minute drive, let's pick up first downs, never drop back to throw. So, and I think San Francisco can do that. Philadelphia can do that. The better teams, Baltimore can do that. The better teams in the league can do it, and I don't think Dallas can. But we have to be honest about Mike McCarthy. We have to be fair and reasonable. And Mike McCarthy has taken Dak Prescott, a couple years ago, pretty ugly injury. Michael Gallup's never been what they thought. Brandon Cooks isn't what everybody promised he would be. They lost Dalton Schultz. They couldn't afford him. Amari Cooper. And you look up today, Dallas is a good football team. And I've been calling them pretty good for 25 years. I think they're very good. I think they're a very good football team. And I haven't gone pretty good to very good on Dallas many times. But you can't get too caught up on the fact that their defense gave up a bunch of points tonight. Listen, it's the NFL. This isn't college football. DK Metcalf was a huge matchup problem. Seattle's got Lockett, the rookie receiver, no offense, a huge body, DJ Metcalf. And I thought their offensive line tonight, created some holes early, especially on the ground. Seattle's got a lot of talent. Shane Waldron's a respected offensive coordinator. You're not going to throw shutouts, right? The defensive rules don't allow it. You're not keeping talented teams and veteran coaching staffs to 17 points every week. It happens. But I think I'm going to go from pretty good to very good for the Cowboys, and I have not done that much. And Mike McCarthy deserves credit, and I've been critical. But Dak's 29 of 41, 300 yards, 3 DTs, no picks. That's big boy football. How about them Cowboys? In the NBA, the games can change in an instant, but no matter how the action unfolds, you know that DraftKings Sportsbook has you covered. This week, new customers can score $150 instantly in bonus bets by just betting $5 on basketball. How good of a deal is that from DraftKings Sportsbook? Win or lose, you get the instant W. Instant. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Please use the code Colin, COLIN. New customers, $150 instantly in bonus bets for betting just $5. The code is Colin, COLIN. Only on DraftKings Sportsbook. Download the app, code Colin. The crown is yours. November is here. We are in the heart of the football season. Hockey and basketball just starting up. Best way to get tickets to any of these games is on Game Time, the fastest growing ticket app in the United States. Game Time. It's obsessed with finding ways to help you save money on tickets. That's what they do. You can find exclusive flash deals, ways to help you save money, sponsored deals on games and concerts on a daily basis. Pretty sweet. With zone deals, you pick the section you want and Game Time picks the seat. Big time savings there. And with a Game Time guarantee, you'll always get the best price. You'll find tickets in the same section, same row for less. Game Time will credit 110% of the difference. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets and go with Game Time, the fastest growing ticket app in the United States. Download the Game Time app. Create an account. The redeem code is Colin. That's me, COLIN. $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account. The redeem code COLIN. $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute deals. Lowest priced tickets. Guaranteed. Time for another week of the VLTED Challenge. We're excited to be using the VLTED app. It's VLTED. It's a place where you can store your sports predictions, participate in cash prize pools without an entry fee. Make sure to enter the Colin Cowherd pool chance to win $2,500 in cash prizes. All you have to do is answer the questions with confidence points. Walk away with some serious cash. You receive an exclusive challenge also from me on the VLTED app. VLTED, the VLTED app. Same stakes this week. First place, $2,000. Winner gets to compete against me, one-on-one challenge. VLTED offers free pools, cash prizes every single day. Congrats to last week's winner, Nathan Geiger, $2,000. Nathan has won this thing 2 of the last 3 weeks. He's on a heater. He'll receive an exclusive challenge from me on the VLTED app. Download the app, VLTED, the VLTED app. All right, let's bring in Jason McIntyre. He went 3-1 last week. He leads by 8 units over me. First one to 50 wins the VLTED challenge. I'm ready with my predictions in week 13, and here we go. Okay, Big Ten championship, J-Mac. I predict Michigan will not cover minus 21.5 against Iowa. Not strong feel, but off the Ohio State win, pull back a little. I'm risking 4 units. Why do you accept my challenge?
Well, I'm running hot here. I nearly had a sweep last week, and I think Michigan is without a doubt overwhelmingly the side here. I just don't know, Colin, how Iowa gets to, say, 10 points. And at 21.5, all you need is like 5 touchdowns for Michigan. That's cake against a team that cannot score. I like Michigan here in a breeze. I would agree, maybe a slow start after Ohio State, but Iowa just has no offense. They can't move the football. Michigan hammer spot here.
I'll take Alabama plus 5.5 to cover against Georgia, risking 7 units here. Why do you accept my vaulted challenge?
You know, maybe I'm a little lower on Alabama because of that Texas loss. We watched that game together, and I was just like, this team's garbage. They've gotten better, no doubt, and Georgia's kind of sleptwalked through the second half of the season. I have seen in Vegas, this line's coming down a little bit, Colin. I saw a 4.5. I was like, who's betting Alabama? I guess it's Colin Cowherd back in the tide here. I like Georgia. I'm sorry. I'm not going against the number 1 team in the country in like 17 different categories. And I know Saban as an underdog is popular, but give me Georgia here to cover.
Mike Tomlin, great underdog coach, bad favorite coach, over 4 or 5 points. I'll take Arizona plus 5.5 to cover. Better quarterback. I'll risk 8 units. Why do you accept my challenge?
Well, I know you love Kyler Murray, and you think he could just go into Pittsburgh. What do they call it? Acrisure Stadium, whatever it's called. It's going to be tough. That crowd's going to be really riled up because, Colin, the division is now open. Okay, Deshaun Watson's done. Joe Burrow's done. Pittsburgh got rid of the OC. The offense gets their act together as they went over 400 yards last week. I don't see how Arizona hangs with them. Keep an eye on that injury report for the Cardinals. Trey McBride not practicing is really bad news. They don't have the weapons. I think Pittsburgh can cover this. I like the Steelers.
Finally, I'm going to take the Broncos. Sean Payton's one of the best cover coaches in the league for years. I think Houston's a good team, but losing at home to the Jaguars, I think opened some eyes that they're still really young. I'll take the Broncos plus the hook 3.5. I'll risk 7 units. Why do you accept my vaulted challenge?
In CJ Stroud, I trust. I mean, how well is he playing, Colin? And I will point out, as others have said, Denver during this 5-game winning streak, plus 14 in turnovers. Okay. Stroud is not turning the ball over. Okay. He's been really, really good. Not as reckless as some of the other quarterbacks Denver's faced. I'm curious how Denver moves the football here. They've been very, very cautious. What's going to happen if Russell Wilson has to play from behind? Will they open up the offense? Does Peyton trust him? A lot of questions. I like Houston here. 27-20 type victory.
So there you go. They're locked into the VLTED app, VLTED, and make sure to enter the Colin Cowherd pool. Totally free. First place, $2,000. Remember the VLTED app, VLTED. The QR code is right on the screen.